but also holding the energy in the heart, holding the energy in the body. In the side angle pose, there can be a tendency if you go too much towards doing, a back bend like this, that's where the shoulder blade starts to get lost on the back. And if you look at people when they do a back bend, if they lose the bond to here, the neck tightens up, and the shoulder's not actually open, they're just bending a lot at the back. If you straighten out the back, you find their shoulder is actually only this open, but it feels open because they're doing this kind of thing. It's the shoulder blade coming off the back that actually limits how much they're doing. So we're setting up, I talk mostly about the shoulders, but you get the leg anchor, Uddiyana Bandha here, and once you get this tone and firmness here, then the shoulder blade comes onto the back and it swings into place. And this is much more a straight angle pose, not so much a back bending pose. Doing Warrior One pose, certainly that's a back bend, going like this, but not in the same way as Parsvakonasana. And it's like, if you lose the stability at the bottom, again, if you lose Uddiyana Bandha, very often the neck tightens up on you, especially when you're doing a straight pose like that. So we're working the side angle pose to really make it a straight side angle, just to hold everything together and to get the energy to move along this line instead of starting to throw it different directions. Does that make sense? And what I was working with the arm, we're going to start to do some stretches for really opening up the front chest, because so far we've worked on strengthening the shoulder blade on the back. We did the side plank thing. We did the Warrior Two pose. When we did Parsvakonasana, was to be able to hold that on the back as the arm moves. The other problem is tightness at the front of the shoulder. And there's the pectoral muscles at the front, and the real culprit down beneath it is called pectoralis minor. It's a little muscle, and it connects up to a point underneath the collarbone here. It's interesting, where it connects underneath the collarbone is a little nib of bone that looks like a thumb. I told you all this before. This is called the coracoid process. It's named after a crow's beak. It's actually part of your shoulder blade, which is funny. When you touch your chest here, you're touching your shoulder blade. You can use this in the bar bit. I can touch my shoulder blade without reaching behind me. Because it's shaped like this, and part of it sticks through, and pectoralis minor attaches from the ribs to the coracoid process. Its function is it's actually meant to be one of your breathing muscles. If the shoulders stay very stable and you contract pectoralis minor, that helps you to work with the chest because it holds the ribs up and open. But as a matter of fact, as people's shoulders get slumped and weak, instead of using it to open the chest, instead it drags the shoulders down. So when it gets tight, I call it one of the mouse muscles. If you spend enough time on a computer mouse, it's reaching forward and doing this with your arm, makes pectoralis minor tight. You've got a nerve in your artery and an artery that run down from the neck, under the collarbone, and underneath pectoralis minor, and it runs down your arm to your thumb and your index finger. And when that muscle's tight, it pushes down on the nerve, and you get the tingling in the arms and the fingers. So a lot of the tingling that people have in nerve pain comes from the tightness of that muscle. And also, people tend to get sharp pains underneath the shoulder blade back here. The sharp pain at the back is a weakness of the muscle that comes from the tightness of the front. You get your thumb into your chest and massage a little bit underneath the collarbone and around the ribs, you might find it surprisingly ouchy. That tenderness is usually a sign of weakness and tightness in pectoralis minor, and sometimes if you hit the right spot, you feel it in your back. Yeah, you feel how that is? So half the problem is weakness at the back, and the weakness at the back comes from this tightness at the front. This muscle is kind of tricky to get to. When we're doing stuff like when we did the Warrior Two pose, we did this kind of action, we do this because it's actually pectoralis minor is pulling the shoulder this way and taking off the chest shoulder. So a couple stretches we're going to do are to start to get into the chest, open up the pectorals, and then start to get to a deeper level of getting pectoralis minor to stretch. Yeah, it's nice just to get in. You can even get like a tennis ball and just get in there and just really get rough with it, to get it to release.
I spend like 8 to 12 hours on the computer a day.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And
you're speaking to me.
I know. Yeah, me too. I had to change mice around just because I was getting all kinds of problems with writing.
So you should put your mouse like way off to the side.
Yeah, really have a yoga mouse.
It's hard to draw that way.
You
And switch your mouse to your left hand. Switch your mouse.
Yeah, the left hand, yeah.